Let's take a look at the role and architecture of each module of the server solution in order to understand the installation and system operation of the RPA server. RPA is a solution that automates standardized tasks performed by humans to be processed by bots. It consists of Designer, which designs the automation process, Bot, which runs it, and Orchestrator, which controls it. RPA solution is a solution based on MSA, microservice architecture, and can break down one large application into several small applications to modify and combine them. So when the RPA is installed, a total of 7 service modules are installed by default, and each service module is linked to the defined API, performing the independent role to run the system as a whole. Let's take a quick look at each role. Admin portal registers and monitors information of users, bot, and designer. Asset manages projects in Designer. Authentication generates and authenticates the user's token. Communication sends and receives bot messages, executes and pauses the job, and sends the result and status messages. API Gateway sets and accepts the path of the requested URL. Scheduler manages the schedule of jobs, and Process Flow executes the process flow. Introducing the Orchestrator server requires not only the solution users, but also the system operator who will manage the installed server. Here, the solution user develops automation tasks, manages bot and processes, monitors bot executions, and manages the schedule. And the system operator operates the infrastructure where the solution is installed, manages the license, manages the user account and permissions, and implements the solution patch. When introducing an initial RPA solution, you must consider the configuration of your infrastructure. First, it is important to review the purpose of introducing the enterprise business, the characteristics of the RPA system, and business requirements comprehensively. When introducing the RPA, it is necessary to sufficiently verify the effectiveness of the introduction compared to the cost. Also, the size of the company, security policy, importance of business, and the scope of the applied system must be considered too. For the system, it is necessary to consider the optimization of the bot execution environment, the scalability of the system, and the integrated management capability. And based on this, select infrastructure that fits the characteristics, such as building own local system or introducing a specialized SaaS type RPA. The following is an example of infrastructure solution. Initially, we verify the effectiveness of automation tasks through a pilot introduction project and review the full-fledged spread afterward. To do this, we install 2 or 3 script development tools on the scenario developer's computer and introduce a small pilot environment that is primarily applied to major tasks through the basic configuration of Designer and Bot. Then, we configure the initial setup environment for single server, which does not separate development and operation or redundancy. Then, we verify the effectiveness through a pilot application of important systems, such as a basic portal system and ERP system. Once the effectiveness of the introduction is verified through the pilot introduction project, establish a large-scale automation system and introduce the infrastructure. In this case, separate the development and operation environment with its own infrastructure to efficiently manage, ensure availability of all resources, and establish the RPA business operating system. In addition, compose a system operation role and an automation support organization to support the automation process of the enterprise-level business. The operating environment consists of multiple bots and a redundant environment to separate access permissions for actual operation. Also, the development and staging environment provides an environment for developers to develop and test the scenarios. The following is the case of introducing SaaS service through a specialized company that supports the RPA system. In this case, tenants are provided for each site without the need to build a separate infrastructure, and they can be operated independently in the form of a single system. In other words, system operating personnel from the specialized companies operate the infrastructure and solutions, and professional services are provided in the form of monthly billing. Let's take a look at the recommended system software specifications for the solution installation. The solution is basically installed in a Linux environment. Red Hat Linux and Maria database are recommended. Since detailed infrastructure capacity and redundancy schemes vary according to the operator's policy and capacity calculation, you should contact the solution vendor for assistance before installing the solution. When the infrastructure is ready, the system operator checks and prepares before installing the solution. First, the system operator checks whether WAS was installed and checks if it is installed with an account that has sudo privileges when installing the server. Here, it is recommended to generate IPA admin, IPA WAS, and IPA DB accounts for the RPA solution. The system operator also checks whether the JRE is installed in the OS environment, where the RPA server will be installed, and checks whether the MariaDB is installed. When the basic system software is ready, check whether the external firewall access rights and internal firewall access rights have been previously discussed with the firewall administrator and allowed. After all of these preparations are checked, the RPA solution is ready to be installed. For initial installation, technical support staff of the solution vendor will support the on-site installation. When the Orchestrator installation is complete, check if the relevant directories and installation files have been generated properly, and access the page to check if the user portal and administration portal are normally accessed. The default directory of the installed server consists of apps/AAPS, where asset and authentication are installed, certificate/certificate, where the SSL certificate and RPA server certificate are installed, and /logs, where the RPA server and admin portal logs are installed. The system operator performs basic system administration, such as starting the service, checking its status, and stopping it. Here, individual services of the RPA server are composed of modules, and management commands can be executed by specifying the module name.